This is an adult female Cyclops, part 2. We're at a 20 power objective here, a Nikon 20X plan apochromat lens. And what you're seeing there on the side of the shell is a bunch of parasites, suctorians. This is one of her under legs that are under the body. We're on top of it, so we can't really see the rest of it, but she'll have about 7 or 8 of those underneath there and use them for paddling, swimming, and probably protection. This is her shell. Her digestive tract, the 2 rows of dark spots are eggs on the side, and her fallopian tubes, I guess you'd call them. Up forward is the ovary. A single ovary fills both tubes. The bundles on the left there with all the small lines within it, those are muscles. 2 big muscles go from the head all the way to the tail, and they'll wag the tail. Very detailed structure for such a small animal. And believe it or not, they used to have a heart and not lungs, but gills, which they de-evolved because they didn't need them. They get their oxygen just directly through the shell and parts of the body, and then they use these muscle contractions to move their blood analog around the body. Here's the eye, the red part, and then you see an oval, lighter part right there. I believe that's also part of the eye, possibly even part of the brain. Never noticed it before, but I'm getting such good images now I can see these things. The big heavy black line on the left is a air bubble that I didn't dare try and remove from under the cover slip. And down in between those 2 rows of eggs are, that's her gut, probably her stomach there. And then the intestines a little bit lower down. And we're switching back to 10X here. 10X meaning a Nikon 10X plan achromat objective lens. And for those people that wanted a full body shot, here we've dropped down to 4 power. Trying to adjust it in. A lot of light doesn't come through from the 4 powers here. Shows pretty much all of her. We'll go down to 2X here in a minute. You can really get an idea how small they are that way. The size of these are just barely big enough to see with the naked eye. If you got one in a glass of water and you can hold it up to the light. Okay, here we are at 2 power. So you're stuck up against the air bubble there. If I had tried to remove that, the cover slip probably would have crushed the bug, and I didn't want to do that. They're very fragile. Even though they're in a shell, they're still fragile, easily broken. So this is about, for those people that use the Canon MPE, this would be equivalent to about a 20 power. Where the MPE can do 5 power without tubes. This is my weakest lens on the microscope. I use a Nikon fluopot. From the 1980s, roughly. It was a research microscope in fluorescence. And we're back to 4-power. Quite a difference in the focus. Here you can't just jump from 2 to 4 and it'll still be in focus. So you can see all those suctorians stuck all over her. And we're closing in on the end of part 2 here. Next part will be more at 40 power, showing the internal organs and other good parts of her.